we're gonna just hey,
Hello.
hello to those joining us on YouTube.
Hello. Hi, Faith. How are you?
Forever Faith. Yeah, good to see you. Thank you all for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys for always tuning in. Right, we're just gonna wait for the numbers to sort of get up to like 10, and then we'll get going.
Yeah. So I wonder, are people looking forward? Are you looking forward to the end of the lockdown? And if you are, what are you looking forward to doing?
Yeah, it'd be good to know.
What are you going to do? So I know someone. I spoke to someone and they said that they've booked or they're trying to book an appointment for 8:30 a.m. a hair appointment for 8:30 a.m. on Wednesday.
Wow.
So what are you planning to do? Are you planning to do anything? If you are, what are you planning to do from Wednesday onwards when we come out of this second lockdown?
Well, I think
The UK.
you're assuming that the viewers are actually in lockdown. Well,
No, but even whether they are or not, the shops, not all of the shops are
someone said
open.
TK Maxx. Okay.
TK Maxx, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So shopping, okay. Someone's gonna be going into the shops.
Yeah. Hi Kumbi, hi Wumi. Yeah.
So that you're excited for date night. That's
Ooh.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I hope. Well, you better feedback and let us know how date night goes.
Yeah.
And where you're planning to go.
Right.
Eyebrow. I like that one. So they're looking forward to eyebrows.
Even me, I need to get a haircut. I've just been doing my own thing at home, but I mean, last one I had to get it at home myself.
But look good.
Yeah, I know, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyone else, any other ideas? Someone said TK Maxx, someone said eyebrows.
Yeah. Someone said date night. Me. I don't know actually. I think probably shops.
Thank you, Faith. Yeah.
I think I think shops actually.
What you gonna do?
Just to buy stuff. I need to get some. What do I need to get? I need to get some. I need to go to the hair shop to get some stuff. Okay. But I don't think I'll go and see my parents.
Yeah.
But what about you? Is there anything?
No, because to be honest, I don't feel like I'm in lockdown. There's nothing that apart from getting my haircut.
Yeah.
Really. Well, and of course, maybe the occasional outings that we have.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe one of those. Even though we found a way to improvise around that, but
yeah,
it would be nice to sit down and have a nice meal.
Mm-hmm. You know? So anyone else, what are you looking forward to doing? Or maybe for some people, this lockdown hasn't necessarily stopped them from living their normal life.
That's the point I'm making. You know. Anyway, right? Shall we get into it?
Yes.
Okay. Hello.
Sister
Yemisi, how are you doing today?
So today is the final session of cuffing season. So for those that are new, so cuffing season is a term used for the period whereby those that are single basically hook up into a relationship to get through the winter, the colder periods. But cuffing season is not, or that aim is not the main aim of getting into a relationship. So we've been sharing some insights from some wonderful couples about their own lives, sharing from their lives, how best we can hook up in relationships and how we can make the most of marital relationships.
Yeah. So should we do a quick recap?
Do
you remember actually?
Do I remember? Yes. So the first one was us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were interviewed by the wonderful Pastor Uche and Bona. And then session 2, lovely Sade.
So hold on. Yeah. Highlights from
highlights from R1. What are the highlights from R1?
I think it was the revelation of this passion. Okay. And it's a question that I'm going to put to our guest today, actually.
All right.
So session 1 was really just about our relationship, how we got to meet and all that.
Yeah.
And then session 2 was
session 2 is conversations with my single self, wasn't it? So with Sade, Femi, and their daughter.
That was really hot.
That was a really good session. Yeah. And then session 3 with Pastor Tayo and Moyo Olotu.
Yeah.
which was really powerful. Stronger Together, and kind of we they invited us into their world, and we learned about the challenges they went through early on in their marriage.
Yeah.
And now, wonderfully, many years later, 3 wonderful daughters.
Yeah. So I think the highlight of that was how they lost their first child,
yeah,
born premature, but then pretty much they were in the hospital with him for like 6 months.
Yeah.
And eventually the child passed.
Yeah.
But it was out of that experience, actually, that they conceived session. Their first daughter.
Yeah.
Was second child, first daughter.
Yeah.
But it was just. I mean, that was nice.
Yeah,
good to watch. Yeah. Then last week was
Last week was is there a culture clash? So it's actually quite interesting. So we had Pastor Earl and Kane Lawson. So he's Jamaican British. She's Nigerian. Yeah. They've been married for, is it 5 years? I think 6 years now, and they kind of shared their story. So the mixture of Jamaican, British, Nigerian, the challenges they've been through, and actually how they are choosing to have a God culture, in their relationship. So that was really powerful. So if you've missed any, please go back and listen. They are on Instagram live and also on YouTube. So now we're here, 5th session.
Yeah, I don't want to say we've left the best for the last, but definitely one of the sessions that I'm so looking forward to. We haven't had it yet, but I already have some loaded questions that I want to put to our guests today. We've been married for 11 years.
11 years, yeah.
But this couple will be married for over 30 years. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I mean, that's forever.
Yeah.
I mean, and they've done so well. I believe they've done so well. It's either they are faking it or it's working well, and I think it's working so well.
Yeah.
So we would love to. Hey, Mr. Steel Dapper, how you doing? Esther, Lulu, and all. All right, so we're going to invite our guest today to join us. So this is where we have the drum roll, I guess. Yeah.
So today we have the Adeotoye. So Dr. and Mrs. Adeotoye will be joining us on the sofa today.
Yeah.
And so they have 3 children, 3 adult children, should we say?
Yeah.
So we await them.
Okay. I've invited him. I hope he knows how to use Instagram.
I'm sure
he does. He's quite active on Instagram. So, Doc, please accept my invitation. Right. Okay. Well, whilst we're waiting for them, Doc, can you see my invitation, or do you need any help with that?
So 30 years ago, what were you doing?
30 years ago, that will reveal a bit of my age. well, 30 years ago, I just left secondary school, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 30 years ago, I just left secondary school. To be honest, I didn't know what I was doing. That's the point, But 30 years, that's a long time, But I mean, given that this couple they've got 30 years experience of marriage, I think they are worth listening to,
Mm-hmm.
So, Doc, I don't know why you're not able to connect, but is it there now? Okay, let's try. Yeah, okay, resend. Yeah, Doc.
So 30 years ago, I was in school.
Which primary school?
Primary school.
Yeah. Some of the viewers were not born. Yeah. 30 years. But you see, the thing is, I think it's important for me. It's important to always, learn. Even Scripture talks about the fact that you learn from those that have gone ahead of you. There's no new trick. I mean, if it's working, then there's a reason why it's working. So for us, we want to hear from the Adeotoyes, what they're doing right. Yeah, what they're doing right. to get this marriage working. I'm sure they are doing better than connecting on this Instagram, because this is proving to be a bit of a challenge. Okay, so Doc, we're waiting for you now. Please accept our invitation. Whilst on YouTube, hello there on YouTube.
Hello.
We hope that you guys can hear us. Someone said they're in primary school. Wumi, I don't know. Wumi, I know you're not in primary school there, no. But I won't reveal what I know. Yeah, I won't reveal what I know. Okay. All right, Doc, are you having any challenge or a challenge joining in? Okay.
Okay, so we're just trying to get get them in.
Okay, Doc, let me try and do that again. Because it says
if you request it, do you want to request it again? And then we'll just allow it. Hello. Yeah. Hi.
Oh, you're teasing for me?
Oh, you're teasing me. Yes, I was in primary school. He's older than me by many years.
No,
by
don't tell
years.
What do you mean by many years?
I said by a few years.
Before they come and arrest me now. But yeah, my wife was in primary school. Yes, I was, I think I just left secondary school. So at least that gives you an idea. Anyway, right. Okay, so finally, let me try this one more time. And then I'm sure they're online. Or maybe we should try Mrs. O's. Okay, Doc, can you see that? Hi, Biola, how you doing?
Hello, everyone. Hi on YouTube as well.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to get Dr. and Mrs. Adeotoye.
All right, your request is not going through. Let's see. Okay.
Go live, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This will happen today by fire, by force. Yeah. Okay.
Hello, everyone that's joining. Ross, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Right. If we don't get through on this account, I think we're just going to go with. If Mrs. Adeotoye has got Instagram account, we should also try that. Okay. Well, I'm sure it's worth the wait. Yeah, she's joined. So let me try and see if I can get her on. Okay.
Wait. Is that him there?
No, that's fine. Hold on. Yeah.
Send a quick. No,
wait.
No, if you go view.
That's what I'm doing. Right. Okay. At least one of these should work.
So it's just waiting for you to, I think, accept it also.
Right. Okay. Please bear with us. It's going to be worth the wait. Maybe whilst we're waiting, let's see. In light of, so for us, 11 years married now. What would you say? This is very impromptu now, right? Have you had any sort of surprises?
No
surprises. Okay.
No.
Good or bad? Good surprises.
Oh, good surprises.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I've had 2 surprise birthdays, haven't I? No, was the other one birthday? It wasn't birthday. So 2 surprises. So one was my was it my 30th? My 30th.
Yeah, it was your 30th.
My 30th birthday. So we went on a family holiday to France with Pastor Banks' family. And it was my birthday. So it wasn't my birthday, was it? But anyway, we'd arranged to go to dinner.
Yeah.
We'd arranged to go to dinner. And when I got this, I was pregnant with that tells you my age. Well, anyway.
Yeah.
I'd arranged to go to dinner. We'd arranged to go to dinner in France, in Paris. When I got to the restaurant, I saw my parents there, my siblings there, my friends also there. So somehow he'd managed to arrange with them to get them to come to France to this restaurant and for us to have dinner. So that was a real big surprise. And then earlier this year, it was Valentine's. So I was thinking that we're going out for dinner. So it was a Friday evening, and I was meeting. So he said he's going to meet me at Romford Station. So I met him at the station. He had a suitcase, and I was wondering where we're going, and he wouldn't tell me where we're going. So we were getting on the tube. We went all the way to Heathrow Airport, and we flew out to Malta. So I didn't know where we were going until we got to what's the hiding age business? Okay, actually, I don't mind anyway. But sorry, that's what's happening. So we ended up in Malta.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Finally.
Hello.
Oh.
Hello. Hi, Dr. and Mrs. Adeoye.
Hello. Sorry about the difference. We were trying our best, but we didn't know we had to enable the microphone, enable the camera, because we never used Instagram Live. So we had to go out to the settings each time and then just go.
That tells us that tells us the generation that you belong to. Yeah.
So welcome. Thank you so much for agreeing to join us on the Blue Sofa today. We appreciate you. So first and foremost, how did you guys meet?
Well, we met while I was in when was it like? I was in college then, having my A levels, and we actually met at a funeral.
Oh.
So it sounds odd, but
yes.
I think it was kind of it's a weird situation, because I left school, I left A levels, and I went back to Lagos, and I didn't hear anything from him for about a year, and then I started in uni. And on the day I got to it, a week or so in uni, one of my cousins came to see me, and we just conversation. And I mentioned, do you know Olumide Adeoye? And he said, oh yeah, he knows him. And 2 days later, he shows up in my room.
Wow.
So it's like we met at the funeral, nothing happened for a year, and then we met again a year later. Because the first cousin just told me that, oh, my cousin asked of you. And I said, oh, fine, what's her room number?
Wow.
So
you were at the same university?
Were you guys at the same uni then?
Yeah.
Okay. So
he was.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I was in the teaching hospital in UCH,
okay.
And she was in the main campus, because I was in my final year and she was in her first year.
So Mrs. Adeoye, so you shot your first shot, right? Because you were the one looking for him.
I wasn't, though.
You were just asking about him.
No, because when we actually met at the funeral, how old was I then? I was like 17, going on 18 then. And I went with one of my friends, and my friend said she had a message for me, and I was wondering from who. And he had written a letter asking me to come and visit. I was thinking, what would I go and do visiting a guy? Well, it just sounded really odd. I just said, no way, I'm not going to visit anyone. So everything just went quiet. And the letter he wrote, I left in my purse. So when I started back at uni, I got out the same purse again. And in that purse was that letter.
Wow.
So otherwise I would have remembered. The letter was there, asking me how I was and all that. And it just kind of stuck in my memory that this guy is in UCH. And I just kind of asked, my cousin. It was just normal conversation. But then he then turned up. So, and the rest is history.
Okay. So when he turned up, obviously, I mean, Doc, what did you do? Did you come with intentions, or you just came to see?
Well,
how things are in those days. We were not born again and all of that. We were just a guy, and I thought, well, she was like senior jambite, and it was rush time, and I thought, well, let me just go to the room and see how things lie.
Yeah. Yeah, I see.
So no, I didn't go there with an agenda, not an agenda of marriage, obviously.
Yeah.
But an agenda of boy meets girl.
Yeah,
type.
yeah. Okay. So how many years have you guys been married for now then?
31
It's
plus.
31.
Oh, so hold on a minute. Are we? I'm not sure. Are we on your YouTube or on your
Was it
Instagram?
on
or
WhatsApp?
on this? Is this
Instagram.
your Instagram or is this my one? I think we've lost people.
I think it might be because I'm at the top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know.
so I think we've lost people.
It might be showing.
It might be mine because you sent me a request.
Yeah.
Are we not showing on?
Oh,
You're not showing on Instagram.
No. I think we've lost people. Oh,
Hold on.
hold
Oh.
on.
Maybe you need to stop and start.
Let's because we had almost 20 people at the time we're waiting for you, but now I'm not. It doesn't seem like I'm live. I'm not live.
Log on or see
Okay.
live.
So
Okay, let me.
We'll have a look to see if you're live on here.
I just checked on mine.
yeah. So I think we're gonna just start. I'll come off and then I'll go live again. Then you guys can
Okay.
jump back on. Yeah,
Okay.
we do that.
Hello. No, we're live. Oh, it's ended.
Okay, let's do that again.
Plus.
Mm.
Move to the right. Sorry on YouTube.
Yeah, sorry.
Technical challenges.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Well, we're live on YouTube. Yeah, we know, but
Hello.
So we're back on Instagram now because we lost quite a few people. But I think we're just going to carry on the story because the YouTubers, for the first time, they actually have an advantage today.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. Sorry to everyone. We were so caught up in the conversation that we didn't get a chance to know to figure out that we had been. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully they should sort it out. Unless there are some accounts that yep. Aha. So this is it.
Okay.
Hello. Sorry, on Instagram, we seem to have lost you.
Yeah.
Not quite sure what happened there.
And we carried on the conversation without you. Sorry. But we are back now. We haven't gone too far yet. So you were telling us how you guys met. So this is about how many years ago now?
1980.
We first met in 1983.
1983.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a long
And then we
time.
started going out in 85.
85.
Okay.
So 35
And then
years.
So that's 30. We met 37 years ago.
Yeah.
37 years ago.
I was just a teenager then. Don't forget.
I know, right? Well, so I mean, I don't want to jump ahead. There's so many questions that I have, in mind to ask you guys. Obviously, at the time you were just, boy meets girl, just doing your own thing. I mean, Doc, was there a sense that this is it for you at the time?
Were you thinking that at the
Yeah.
time?
No, because when we started going out, I was only 23. 23, 22, going 23, and I was in my final year in medical school. So you don't think like that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, obviously you want to go out with women that have potential.
Yeah.
But no, I wasn't thinking about marriage. I was just thinking, again, we were not born again, so I was just a regular guy that was just
meeting a girl.
Yeah.
Lovely, lovely. I love that. So at what point did you then see that this was marriage material? This lady was marriage material.
I think after I'd finished uni, because I finished in 85, so I think, yeah, because finished uni, house job, service and all of that. So I think perhaps after house job, yeah. Although, yeah, we sort of had quite a deep relationship by the time I finished house job.
Okay, brilliant. So, so this session we're talking about kind of maintaining intimacy in your relationship. So, what would the early part of your marriage? What was the early part of your marriage like? And did that change kind of, as you've grown in marriage with regards to intimacy?
Intimacy. Yeah, I think over the years it's changed. Obviously, when we just got married, it was just the two of us. But then our son came more or less the following year. Mm-hmm. So, there were quite a few challenges because then we were living outside London. We were living in Birmingham. So we didn't have family. Mm-hmm. We didn't have the support system where, you could just leave the kid and then you're going out, together. But, we tried to create a situation where whenever we go out, obviously with the baby and everything, we still had our quiet time, just spending time together, going out to places. But it was quite a challenging time because then he was a junior doctor and all hours it was just work. Yeah. I can remember he will start Saturday morning, Sunday, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, and then Monday all day, and he'll come back in the evening and then he just wants to sleep. Yeah. And I've been at home with my son and I'm thinking, I've been home all day. There's nobody to talk to. Yeah. You can't just fall asleep. I need adult company, just talk, that kind of situation. So it was quite challenging during that time. Mm-hmm. But as we had, then subsequently we had the other children and all that. But we've kind of developed a way where we still try to find that time, even though we didn't have help, there was, we still had to find the time where, the kids will be, if they're in bed, we can, have chat together, have an intimate time. Because without the intimate time, I just find out that, you kind of drift apart gradually. Yeah. Without that closeness, everybody's busy doing their own thing. So it was quite important that we found the right time, the right moment to actually, come together and,
It's interesting because we were talking about this very topic a couple of nights ago. And we were saying that it's very difficult because at one stage we had 3 children. Yeah. And we were Tony said, we were living in Birmingham, no real support. But what we tended to do was we would go out together. So we're saying, for example, if you take the kids to somewhere they can run around. So we take them there, we let them run around, and then we sit down and we do our own thing whilst they're running around. Nice. And I remember when our oldest was young, we would go to Pizza Hut. We'd go to Pizza Hut, order a pizza. He's in the child chair doing his thing, and then we would take the opportunity to just chill out and relax. Yeah. But it wasn't easy because I was doing a very busy job. She was in full-time employment, and the childcare was crazy. Because at one stage she was doing a part-time MBA. Wow. And and we were doing everything together. So she would rush put the child into the minders, go for an MBA. I would go from work, pick the child up, go home, then she would come up. So it was very crazy. Really but the upside of that obviously was that we now found a way to work things, even though there were challenges, because obviously in all of this is a lot of arguments around time, quality time, as she said. But it brought us together on another level because we managed to get over those things, deal with them. Because even if you have an argument, there's nobody else. So you can have your argument, talk and all of that. I know that's the person that you still have to come to talk to. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's a lot. That is a lot that you guys were.
Yeah.
So what, you know, like so like us, so I don't know what, you know, whether you were in church or whatever, but like before we got married, we did premarital preparation. We did like this course about preparing for marriage. So we prepared for marriage. My family is here as well, so there's that support. So what kind of helped you? What kind of things helped you to kind of maneuver even in those early years when your children were young? You know, I know you've got the argument. So was it kind of the learning from those arguments what works best? What was it that kind of pushed you?
Yeah, we didn't have any kind of premarital at all. Not a single premarital. It was just like somebody we're talking this morning, it's just like somebody putting you in a car and just say drive. No instructions, nothing, you know, like no help. So it was more like learning as we went along.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, it's like a sort of mechanism where you do something wrong and you say, oh, I shouldn't do that the next time. It was just learning as we went along. So there was not even books. We didn't even read any books concerning marriage or anything. It was just like thrown in at the deep end and get on with it. But I think in a way, and now there's an advantage to that in the sense that you learn what not to do. You know, you're not actually reading it. Somebody else is not actually telling you. It's actually from your own experience. So it's kind of a bit more deeper because then you understand more how things feel. So you can actually deal with issues, you know, without, you know.
Yeah.
So I think that was how we
were talking about that too. And it's just like, you can imagine yourself in a car and then you press the acceleration. Oh, that's the accelerator. So next time when I want to move forward, I'll press that. When you start the car, if it's a manual, it keeps blacking out, jerking. Oh, it's a clutch. I need to press the clutch. And then maybe one time I press the pedal, the brake pedal. Oh, that's what stops it. So it was like that. I do PMP. She's not in PMP, but I am.
Premarital preparation.
Premarital preparation. So I usually tell them that they can't imagine what going into marriage without any preparation is like. There's the upsides that Tony said, but this it can take you up to 10 years to sort out. All those things that she just said in about 5 minutes, that is like 10 years of marriage. Yet, if you have the tools, maybe you can reduce that to 2. Because whether you like it or not, marriage crisis, there's going to be problems. So that is after the honeymoon period, there's going to be issues. So, but maybe you're better equipped to deal with them, and it'll cut down on the time. And then you can, because like we said, no matter how much preparation you do, you're going to have to find your own way of working your marriage. Nobody can actually tell you that this is the way you work your marriage. You need all the tools and then utilize the tools to find your own way.
So in terms of I mean, my God, I can't imagine what you guys must have gone through. There must have been so many near misses, you know, of crashes down the road. So how I mean obviously you weren't Christians early on, so it means that
we were Christians, but we were not
born again. So we weren't born again. So Christ wasn't the center. You didn't build on that. You know, it wasn't Christ centered, as it were. So so what really helped you? Was it just the fact that you guys had personality types that was just, you know, that made it easier for you to resolve your issues? Or how? I mean, I imagine it would have been very challenging.
It was quite challenging actually, because obviously our personalities are different, but in a way we've kind of come together over the years. But what I would say in terms of, you know, not having the access to things like premarital counseling before, or just explaining how things should go in marriage, it's like Olumide said, it would take you longer. So some of the issues that we dealt with, you know, that should have taken us maybe a year, 2-3 years. We were still dealing with it in year 10.
Wow.
So like issues when it comes to, like, you know, talking about stuff, talking about past events, and because I'm the kind of person that I like to know what's happened in the past, So
Mm.
I don't care, maybe it's bad or I just want to know.
Yeah.
And he just believes that, okay, it's in the past. You don't need to know that. I just want to know, because in a way you get to know the person as well, and obviously there will be no secrets.
Yeah.
So I don't want to come up, I don't want a situation where something just happens out of the blue and then I say, oh, who is that, or something like that. Then you say, oh, it's someone from the past, but I want to know who, what has happened in the past. So for me, that was a way, that was always a challenge, that was always like a stumbling block, because I thought it held us back, because since I didn't know a lot more than I as much as I wanted to know, I felt that there was a barrier.
Mm.
I wanted to know everything. I know you can't know completely everything, but I wanted to know details about things, different things, which I felt, when you listen to Pastor Shola, he talks about openness. So openness, being vulnerable. Nobody's going to hold what you say against you.
Yeah.
But when you start hiding things, it's like there is something more to it that meets the eye. So if there is nothing there, I think there should be the freedom of being able to, tell your spouse about what's going on in the past. So that kind of issue was always a problem, for us initially. But over time, it kind of got better.
Okay. Wow. So
those kind of things.
Yeah, that's really interesting. So, like you've kind of said, learning what works for your marriage, and I guess it's a willingness to adapt and change for the benefit of your marriage, isn't it? And also,
that's another thing we said, that look, we were talking and we said flexibility, teachability, willing to change. It doesn't mean you can't change your personality, but you can choose to change certain traits in your personality that will make your marriage work. And we also said that if you're not willing to do that, then your marriage will not work. And then that is the bottom line. If you go in and say, this is me, I'm fixed, I can't change, then you can't stay married.
So just to be clear on what you just said, Doc, you're telling us, and I do agree, you're telling us that anyone that comes into marriage stuck in their ways would struggle in marriage.
Will struggle in marriage, and I dare say they'll either have a very unhappy and extremely, the kind of marriage where you don't want to leave work type of marriage, where you're always finding an excuse to go to the boys in the pub or go to the pub. That kind of marriage where you want to get home at 11 p.m. or 12 p.m. and everybody's in bed. Either that kind of marriage or you won't be married. So for us, one of the other things is that, to be frank, I have never felt that divorce is an option. If you get even before becoming born again. And I think I always advise couples that if you're going into marriage, you have to go in with the thought that divorce is not an option. Because once you take divorce off the cards, then that means that you have to deal with what's in your marriage. If you have divorce on the cards, especially nowadays, it's an easy option than what is in your marriage. But the interesting thing is that what you left here is in your second marriage, is in your third marriage, God forbid. So what you didn't deal with and sort out in the first marriage. So I think that, again, focused my mind anyway, that it may be hot, but I'll pour cold water on it.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. Someone on YouTube has said, absolutely, they have been married for 13 years and they didn't have full marital preparation. And they agree that it took longer and it was challenging to solve issues in the beginning of their marriage.
I think for us, some of these things we take for granted, right? Because we had a lot of the prep, so I can't even begin to imagine how tough and challenging it would have been if there was none. In fact, to be honest, I'm not sure whether I would be married.
Am I that bad?
No, it's not you, it's me.
Oh my gosh. Brilliant. So, like just kind of hearing you speak, you guys have been through a lot. I mean, I can't imagine having children, studying and working, and then junior doctor, the shifts that you do, as well as the exams that you would have had to do.
For exams
Exactly. How were you managing? How are you managing? And there's not that many years between your children's ages as well. So how did you manage it?
There was a gap between the first and second.
Okay.
About 5 years.
Okay.
Between the first and then 3 years between the second and third.
Okay.
So there were at least the gap between the first and second. Not that we just said, look, we can't even afford to have not financially, we don't have the time for a second child at this time.
Okay.
We're both going all out with all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was tough.
It was challenging. Spent a lot of money on nursery,
all that.
Wow. So how did you, what were the key things that kind of helped you to kind of stay connected even through that period?
I think one of the most important things in a marriage is that first you have to be friends. Your spouse needs to be your best friend. If your spouse can't be your best friend, then you've got a problem. You've got a big problem in your marriage. So she was, remains, and by His grace will ever be my best friend.
Yeah.
So I think once you establish that, and once your spouse knows that he or she is your best friend, no matter what problems, it becomes easier to start solving those, and it becomes easier to stay connected, although you still do need to put in effort to stay connected.
Yeah.
But if you can establish that best friendship side of things, the other things are likely to follow.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Okay. So
She agrees with me.
yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. Right. In the light of that point, is it possible actually? I have a few questions, and well, because usually we agree who's going to steer the conversation. So for me is the one steering the conversation today. So I'm just I'm just playing the sidekick pretty much. But so a question though. So is it possible, right, for either the husband or the wife to actually have a best friend outside of the marriage that knows a whole lot more about the marriage than the couple? So let's say now Statonia has a friend, she conceives today, and then the friend happens to know before you know, kind of thing. Or do you think that could work?
Yeah. I don't see how. Well, I haven't got that kind of friend. I don't know. Maybe it's my personality type. I'm kind of what should I say? I'm not really the sort of a very outgoing person, really. So in terms of my friends, I think regarding your marriage, it should actually be between yourself and your husband. You sharing things, personal stuff. I think it should actually just remain between the both of you. Yeah. So there's a limit where what should I call it? Yeah, a limit where of things that you can discuss outside. Like sharing stuff. I think it's better kept in the marriage. If there are problems in the marriage, obviously you can talk to, if you're comfortable talking to your pastor, or someone like a mentor, something like that. But we haven't actually got anybody like that. So we tend to, I don't know, maybe it's because of dealing with issues right from the start. We tend to try to deal with things ourselves. So I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but we tend to kind of try and deal with it as much as we can within our, within ourselves. So we don't really necessarily just, even when it comes to my mom, when my mom was alive, she was always, when she comes, she's always asking, oh, what's happening and all that. But we never really gave her any kind.
Yeah. Someone on YouTube.
It was more like dealing with issues.
Yeah.
So I think
it's true. I mean, we don't have that kind of friend. Neither I nor her. The other thing that I'd like to add is that over the years, the church has been very instrumental, and Christ has been very instrumental in terms of our relationship. Certainly, the churches we've attended, more so TC and TLC have certainly made both of us think about our relationship and look back and then look forward and look at where we're at to see that, okay, that's the past, this is now, that's the future. What can we do now to make our relationship even better in the future? So that has helped, and we've been so that's why we've been heavily invested in the marriage ministries, not only as workers, but also personally, to see if we can move our own relationship forward too.
So, Doc, just, I mean, as a guy now, I come to you and, I'm like, Doc, I love my wife, but I also I still love to hang out with the boys, we have, all these arrangements, going on holidays together, leaving the wives at home, those kind of things, late nights and all that. My wife is not so happy about it, but I don't see a big deal there, I love her. I mean, I provide. So how would you advise me?
I would start with the statement that I tell them at PMP, that marriage is for adults. It's for a man and woman. So if you're getting married, you're declaring that you now think that at least now you're an adult. You may not have been an adult up until then, but when you got married, you're an adult. I can tell a brief story. Some years ago, when TC then, one of my juniors, he was having problems at home. He actually had an extramarital affair. And he came to me and said, I think I made a mistake with my wife. I don't think I'm in the right relationship. So I said, sit down. You have 2 children. So I said, it took you 2 children to realize that. I said, my young brother, you need to get out of your head. I just forget that one. Because the one you're with now is your wife. So whatever you have to get out. And it took several months. And eventually, the interesting thing, then his wife, who's a doctor, to approached me. So I said, I can't do husband and do wife. So I handed his wife over to Toyin, and for a few months, we sort of held their hands. And thank God, they're still together. They're sort of,
That's good.
But it was so like I said, I'd say no. Interesting enough, that's more of a problem in Nigeria. So my contemporaries in Nigeria would have that kind of attitude. They say, look, a man needs a time with the boys, a time to go to the club and all of that. But hey, I don't subscribe to it. They would probably see my life as extremely dull and you're under her thumb. And how can you be at home with your wife? What kind of life is that?
Yeah.
But hey, I'm enjoying my life. That's all I know. What can I say?
That's interesting. I like the fact that, I mean, for you sitting under in church, you were saying that you participate in the marriage ministry to also see how your marriage can improve. And that's like how many years on, So for those that are newly married, getting married is not the end of it. It's still work. There's still investments we need to make in our marriage to make it work.
Yeah. Plus,
plenty work.
The fact that, and I think this is a very key point actually, because you talk to young couples and they've been married 2-3 years, and the guy has got a chip on his shoulder. I'm the man here and all that, and he's not willing to listen. But you're here telling us that 30 years on, you will still sit and listen to somebody who's maybe Pastor is about 20 years in. You're not thinking, well, it doesn't. I mean, I've got my stripes. I'm a 5-star general, whatever. You're saying, look, I can learn from this if it would improve my marriage. So I think that's very key.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think now we can kind of look back and think, oh, this is what we were doing then. If we had done it this way, maybe we would have learned, some other things. Like when Pastor Chola talks about, if you don't learn something, you would end up repeating the class.
Yeah.
So it was like, that always kind of rings in my ear that, we're looking back, that those things we didn't really learn how to deal with. We kept dealing with them until we resolved it. So it's like a continuous process. It's not a marriage is not static. You have to keep, renewing yourself, doing things differently. And so it doesn't become boring. You don't want rigor mortis to set. You want it to.
And in any case, life stages will sort of determine, because you will have to make certain changes as things change. Kids young, kids growing up, kids leave home, and you're left with your wife. So you better, I always say, better get to know your wife. Otherwise, when the kids leave, there'll be two strangers in the house, and it'll be difficult, tough.
Yeah. Can I just make a point before we carry on, actually, because we lost a few minutes. So to those on YouTube, we lost a few minutes, obviously, because of the technical issues. And on Instagram, we're going to go past the 1 hour, which is fine. Instagram now allows us a bit more time. So maybe another 5 or so minutes beyond the normal 6 o'clock, because there are still a few important questions that we want to put across, because for me, this one, I'm here to learn, I just want to really, because I'm thinking, there's something that men say that, after 20, like you said, Doc, that must be boring, but how do you spice it up? How do you spice the marriage up and keep it going? And I've seen photos of you guys on holidays all the time, whether it's, and all that. So how do you keep it going? 35 or more years.
So how many years married?
31
plus.
Okay. Well, no need for that for at least 35. Yeah. So Doc, please tell me how you spice it up.
Well, I think that, and this is my view, that as you get older, you sort of accommodate a degree of boredom. One. So when you're younger, you want to climb mountains, you want to jump out of planes and all of that business. But as you get older, you accommodate a bit of boredom. Yeah. So you don't see anything wrong in just sitting up together in front of the TV and watching whatever. Yeah. So you accommodate that, and then you start saying that you don't have to think of the kids when you're going on holidays. Mm-hmm. So when they're younger, if you're going to Florida and it's Disneyland or it's Disney Paris, you don't have to worry about that. So you can say, we are going there, and the kids can do their own thing. So we can choose where we want to go. So we can go to the sort of holidays we want to go to, spend the time, do the things that we want to do. Mm-hmm. And even if it's just staying at home, you won't see the kids anyway. So they're all at home, but you never see. You only see them at lunchtime. They're all in their rooms doing their thing. So we are left to our own devices. So we find ways of occupying, helping. The more we have 3 grown kids, but then I still end up helping to do chores and all of that. Yeah. So we do things together. We do things together. So I help her out with her business. I'm there. So one cannot underestimate. It doesn't always have to be an outing. It's just the simple things in life. Just doing life together. Sometimes is all that's required. But then again, now, then you go on a nice holiday. You perhaps go to a nice restaurant. Yeah. So people think that it's got to be something extraordinary. You've got to know. I suspect that most women would rather just do life with their spouse, as would the spouse. They do life with my wife rather than all the big grand gestures. Grand gestures are good, but they're just the little mundane things.
Yeah. Okay, Sister Tony, do you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I think, basically, like Olumide said, just doing things that we enjoy doing together. We both tend to enjoy holidays anyway. So that's why you always see the pictures and all that. So we plan the holidays, and even they don't have to be expensive holidays, just short breaks. Yeah. But a different thing. So, and when you're in a different environment, different things come out, like you could talk about things, and, it's always the different environment brings out, the best in you. So I think that's a way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Now make sure there's a bit for your wife. If it's shopping, make sure there's a shopping area around us.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
Consideration. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. I have a very, very important question, but I'll save it to the last, right? Because it's personal. So I will ask it closer to the end. Okay. So do we have any other questions?
I think just so you're kind of approaching, your kids are adults, I'm sure if they've not left home, they'll soon be leaving. So you're approaching the kind of empty nester phase of your marriage. So are you excited about that?
I would say yes and no, in the sense that I'm a bit apprehensive. I don't know what to expect when they've all left the house. So, but at the same time, I want them to go. So that way, so they can start their own lives and do their own thing. So I think that there is an advantage to them being in the house, in the sense that the house is always full. Yeah. There's always something to do. The kids are around, even if they're not with you, they're in their room somewhere. But then I'm thinking, if they're not here, then the house will be so boring. It'll be so empty. But then we'll have more time together. But we're both working, so it would be the time when we're both around that we would be able to, enjoy ourselves or spend time together. But so I'm looking forward to it, and at the same time, I'm still a bit apprehensive. So
I'm looking forward to it. Yes.
So, Doc, what are you looking forward to?
He will end up doing more work.
There'll be less work.
Actually, that's
so there'll be less work to do, less plates to put in the dishwasher, less clothes to fold, less. So I'm looking forward to it. She's sort of, she thinks I'll go to work, come back at night, and it won't be like that. I think that we'll find a way, and I mean, it's not as if one is getting younger, one is working smarter. So the hours will not be, we'll find ways of working. That doesn't mean I'll spend half
all
my
day
life
there.
at work. So
You
now
won't run away.
working from home, and I don't even want working from home, that just takes you away. But we'll find ways. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Lovely.
More expendable income.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
But you know though that takes you back to another level, because now the grandkids will start coming. You know?
I've told her she will become a grandma, and that will just be the dad.
They will come, and then they will go back home.
Yeah.
Yes, they will come. We'll take care of them, and then they'll go back to their own home.
That reminds me, like when my son was younger, and my mom, when she comes on holiday, she would say, "Oh, you guys seem so busy. You're always up and about doing this, doing that. Just leave the kids with me, and then go to watch a movie or something." And then, like 2 days before, you could see my mom. She starts stressing that, would I be able to cope with these kids and all that? Like you're going there. Would I be able to cope with that? Don't worry. But then we just say, okay, we're not going. You just don't worry about the kids. We know how to, get around it. Don't worry, because she starts panicking, thinking, would I be able to cope with the kids and all that? But I guess
on occasion we end up not going.
We end up not going.
There's so much stress, because she will start in the morning with stress. So we said, don't worry. On other occasions, go.
Yeah,
you need to go out. Go.
Yeah.
I'll take care of the kids.
That's nice.
Okay.
Interesting.
Thank you. Any more questions? Okay. So now to my all important question. You see, when we started this series, like we said, we had a guest interview us instead, and there was a question that we were asked that we didn't see it coming, or I didn't see it coming anyway. So, and it was the last question, so that's why I'm also reserving it to the last. And this is the question: commitment, intimacy, passion, right? In those three words, could you arrange them in the order? One being the most important, right, and the most active in the marriage. So, how would you arrange that?
Commitment,
I think
intimacy, passion. Go for it.
No, you go for it.
You can do it independently.
They have in different orders.
Yeah.
I think for me, commitment will be one.
Yeah.
because then if you're committed to the marriage, then everything else.
In your marriage, we're talking about your marriage,
Your marriage, yeah, as it is right now.
Oh, in our marriage. Oh, okay. Yeah, commitment.
Yeah, I'd say commitment would be number
first.
one.
Yeah, commitment would be first.
Yeah, I'd say.
And then the second one is intimacy and passion.
Okay.
Yeah, commitment would be number one. Intimacy, passion. They're intertwined. I don't know whether I can put them second and third. They're like second.
They go hand in hand.
Yeah, 2A and 2B.
So which one is
2A?
Which one is 2A? Which one is 2B? I want to know.
One is commitment, then 2A is intimacy, 2B is passion.
Okay. Would you agree, Sister Tony?
I would agree with one, commitment. Then passion. If there is passion, then there'll be intimacy, won't there?
Yeah, and vice versa. I don't know. Yeah, I find it difficult to place them. They're so intertwined.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. We actually didn't have this much time to think through it, but it's been on my mind because same order pretty much, but ours was I said commitment, intimacy, and then passion being the third one. And then for me then went on to say that that passion, there's not a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
So I want to find out, because I've been thinking about it for the last many weeks, because I really want to, because commitment, it goes well, intimacy very well, passion I think is okay, but it could be better. So I've been thinking, so what does that really mean, and what does that look like as you get older in the marriage? What does passion look like?
Yeah.
Sounds like a deep question.
No, I mean, I look over the years, and I think it depends on how you define passion.
Yeah.
I mean, perhaps if you define it on a physical level, perhaps when you're young and you're married and you want to go at it 3-4 times a day, not that it was ever like that. You think it's like that when you grow older. You think, when we're young, we're going for it 3 or 4 times a day, but it's never like that anyway. And as you get older, you begin to tell yourself that no, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality, and you start concentrating on the quality. But that apart, I think for me, the attraction is still there. So the attraction is still there. I mean, here I probably could go for it 3 or 4 times a day, but
that was in his head. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know whether my body can.
All right.
So that's on the physical level.
Yeah.
But on a heart level, I think obviously with time and with life and with things can change.
Yeah.
But I think the basic feeling of love is always there.
Yeah.
But obviously sometimes, like when you have kids, young kids, that can make it seem as if the passion level is down, the intimacy level is down. But then when the kids grow, then it comes up again. And then when you're older, passion is there, at least on an emotional level. Physical level, it becomes all about quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the passion needs that needs to keep. That kind of keeps in there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it needs reignition.
It needs ignition.
Reignition.
Or
Reigniting.
Okay. So Mr. Adeotoye, when you see, and this is still part of the same question, right? When you see Doc or when you hear that voice, does your heart still skip beats? Does it still go dancing? I mean,
is that his question?
It's yours.
When you hear his voice.
When you hear his voice or see him coming from afar, I mean, do you still have that same, that feeling that you cannot
the feeling that you feel
when you see him and you cannot really describe that feeling?
Yeah, this feeling is is always there. Although sometimes when you're angry, you just kind of, but the feeling is always there in the sense that you still have what should I call it? Should I say butterfly? You still have that feel. It's difficult to describe. It's just, you just know that feeling is there.
Yes.
So it's, I don't know how to describe. It's the feeling that you can't describe.
A feeling that you feel, but you cannot.
You can't describe.
The flutters.
That's one of the definitions of love that Pastor people
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the feeling is still there. The sense that when he's around, I'm more, I'm comfortable, and I still feel like I felt way back then. Sometimes it's a bit, it's kind of weird. You think, how come I still feel the same way I felt like 30 something odd years?
Nice. I like.
Now.
See, you're taking notes, eh?
What do I need to take notes?
Okay.
Yeah, so the feeling is still there, and it's just like you having a kid. If you're a kid, you have the baby, and the love is there, the mother's love and everything. If they do something wrong, you could be angry at, oh, they've done this, but that love is still there. It's in, what should I say, innate, or it's just in you. You can't actually, describe how come it's like that, but you just know you just feel that way. So I still have that feeling anyway.
And that's what keeps you going, because obviously in marriage you have challenges. So there will always be challenges at every stage. But it's that feeling that makes you think we can get over this. We've had challenges, we've surmounted. So no matter how to the people outside they think that, oh, this is a solid marriage, or not, that's a lie. There are challenges. God continues to help us.
Yeah.
And I think those challenges, they actually bring you together, because then you look for ways of actually resolving them.
Yeah.
So because you want the best out of the marriage, and you want to move things on.
Yeah.
So that I think that in a way is
And I always say, at the end of the day, who has your back? Who really has your back? I usually tell that PMP, if you think that your spouse to be does not have your back, then you have no business marrying him or her. Because if they can't have your back, then you're in all sorts of trouble.
That's actually a very good place to round up the session. Thank you so much.
So much.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for sharing
Had a good
tips. 31 years of marriage, and still growing and still learning, and still being flexible. Thank you so much. And for those of you listening, if you're married, then maybe you need to have a conversation. How would you rate, or how would you order those three things? Commitment, intimacy, and passion.
Yeah.
What would be number 1,
Yeah.
2, and 3? Discuss.
By the way, Doc, thank you for affirming my thoughts. I feel better. knowing that I'm in good company. Thank you. Thank
you so much.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone for listening.
Yeah, God bless you.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
Next week we start a new series, All I Want for Christmas. So see you again next week. Thank you. God bless you.
Bye.
See you.
God bless.
Bye.